Hello guys, welcome back to the Hitchcock Takeover here on Beyond the Realms, and today I'm going to be reviewing one of his films out of this set, the Blu-ray box set, the Masterpiece Collection, and it is from 1948, entitled Rope. This was Hitchcock's first ever colorized film, and also the first of 4 films that he did with Jimmy Stewart. Now, Rope tells the story. It starts off by showing outside of this apartment building, and it zooms in to where the shades are drawn, and you hear some guy inside choking, and it cuts to inside to a guy being choked with a rope, and he dies. And the 2 guys that are perpetrating the murder are Brandon and Philip. Brandon is more of the cocky one out of the 2. Philip is the one that's kind of reserved and worried about what they're doing. And they theorize it as being committing the perfect murder. And you know, they feel that they've murdered this guy named David, and they feel that he's inferior, you know, and they're pulling off the perfect murder. So then they decide they're going to have a party and have all these people over. And they have over David's parents, they have over his girlfriend, they have over another friend named Kenneth, and then they have over one of their teachers, Rupert, which is Jimmy Stewart. They have them over for the dinner, and before everybody arrives, they decide instead of serving the dinner from the dinner table, they're going to serve it on top of this chest where they have David's bodies stored. You know, it's really just for their own amusement. Brandon's the one, of course, that concocts this whole plan, and you know, they just want to see if they can pull it off. So everybody arrives, and Janet, David's girlfriend, is asking where David is. He was supposed to have been there. David's parents, which is let's see here, Mr. Kentley, and I guess it's his stepmom, Miss Atwater. They're wondering the same thing, you know, where's David at? And, you know, nobody really knows. Rupert arrives, and they start talking a lot, and they go into this, talking about this theory that Rupert had mentioned in one of his classes one time. It's a philosophy of Nietzsche, where it was called The Art of Murder, and it's basically about people of higher intellect, you know, murdering people that are inferior, basically what they had just done. And while they're talking about this, Rupert realizes that they really understand this by the things they're saying, especially things Brandon's saying. And all along, Philip is acting very odd, and he keeps drinking and getting more and more drunk as it goes along, and it raises the red flags to Rupert. And he starts to wonder, you know, he starts seeing little signs here and there that maybe they had to do with David's disappearance. And that's basically the story of Rope. It's very simplistic, and the whole entire movie takes place in this apartment. And it was an experimental film for Hitchcock at the time, where he basically did the movie with as little takes as possible. At the time, you were only able to get like 10 minutes of film on each canister of film. So the cuts that he made would be like focusing in on somebody's back or a piece of furniture. There's very few actual cuts that you can tell. I mean, you can obviously tell that's where they're cutting the film now, but I mean, as far as like cutting from one scene to another, there's only a few of them like that in the entire film, and the whole movie, except the beginning, takes place in this apartment. It's very awesome how they pulled it off, and all the performances are really, really good in this. And you know, it has that typical Hitchcock suspense and build of story. You know, as Rupert starts to figure out more and more of what's going on, and Brandon's just really cocky about the whole situation. He's trying to hook Janet and Kenneth up, even though they're both, they're both very uneasy about it because Janet is dating David, even though he's not there. They don't want to hook up. But Brandon's really pushing them, and even convinces them to leave together and everything. But this is just an amazing. The suspense is really great in this. Especially like the last 20 minutes or so when Rupert's really onto them, and all the things that happen there, which I won't spoil it for you, but I just really enjoyed this film a lot. I think it's very underrated. I've only heard a few people talk about this film, and I just think if more people watch this, they would be really surprised at how great the film is. Another aspect of this is really cool. Outside the window in the apartment is a backdrop of New York with the Empire State Building, all this stuff. And at the time, it was apparently the biggest stage setup ever. Like, they actually built props outside the window and made a lot of depth to them. They had smoke rising out of the buildings. All the buildings had lights. They had clouds in the air. And as you watch the film, these clouds change and shapes change. And this was all just props. And I mean, you can tell it's props. It's not that amazing looking, but for the time, it is incredible. And it's really amazing how they pulled this off. And also, another aspect of this film that's really cool is the walls and the furniture in the film were made to be movable as they were filming. They had a set, and the prop designers were in there actually moving set pieces along with the camera, so that way the camera could seamlessly move, and they would take out walls to get these shots right in camera. All of it was done in camera. There was very little editing done on this film at all. And that's just amazing to me because, I can't imagine how meticulously planned this film had to be to pull that off. Like, all the actors had to be exactly on their cues, stepping in the exact spots that's planned out. And to be able to do that and pull it off where it's believable and doesn't look like all that's happening is really amazing to me. But I just absolutely loved Rope. I'm going to give this film a 10 out of 10. Yes, indeed. I'm giving it a perfect score. I just think that it's so underrated. It's just such a shame nobody talks about this. It really, really demands to be seen, and I just love the ending to it. The ending was just so incredible to me. How it all pans out. It's just a great film. Jimmy Stewart is amazing as always. He's really troubled because he realizes, the things that he taught in this class, these two really took it to heart. And it even kind of plays off of the idea of becoming famous, or I guess infamous, for committing a murder. And that's just something else. That really plays into some of the things that go on these days. With the media really talking up things that go on and people commit crimes and hope to become infamous off of it. That's all in this film. So yeah, Rope is definitely worth checking out, guys. It's an amazing film. It's in this box set, but you can also find it on its own on DVD. This is the first Blu-ray release of it. Blu-ray looks pretty good. It's not that spectacular, but I'm sure it's a far cry above what the DVD is. I'm sure of that. So yeah, guys, check out Rope. It is well worth your time. So I appreciate you all watching. Have a good one.